rabbis of yesteryear. Now today we are concentrating on a famous rabbi, Kabbalist rabbi from Tzfat. His name was Rabbi Elazar Azikri Z'tl, one of the great rabbis of Tzfat in of his day respectively. And to give him his full title was Rabbi Elazar ben Moshe Azikri. He was born in the English year 1533 and he passed away in the year 1600. We're talking about 425 years ago. We're not too sure the exact date when he passed away, but I believe he was born actually on the 27th of Iyar, Chavzayin, Iyar, naturally. He was one of the great Kabbalists. He was a Darshan. He was a poet also, Moshe, as they say, and he was one of the great rabbis in Tzfat, in his day, Tzfat being one of the four holy cities of Israel, along with Hebron, Tiberia, and Jerusalem. And very much, it's a very well-known, probably, or most well-known, for composing the Shabbat song Yilid Nefesh, which we sing every Shabbat, and also the author of the Torah book called the Sefer Charedim, respectively, and the Sefer Mitzvot. Much can be said about him. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great Rabbi Elazar. Now, as we said before, he was born in English year 1533. We're talking about nearly, from time of recording, 500 years ago. He was born in Tzfat. Just like he was born in Tzfat, he would pass away in Tzfat. Both of those time periods, it was under Ottoman Empire rule. It was. And I believe the family actually was a family that actually were expelled from Spain. We're talking the expulsion from Spain happened in the year 1492, right at the end of the 15th century. And he was born around 40-ish years after this specific period in itself. So I don't know if they were immediately, it was in the year 1492 that they actually left itself, but I would assume it was probably at around that period. So he was a great rabbi. We're going to learn much about him, his family. Remember, Spain was like, let's say, the center of the world of Torah of its day. And I believe the family itself really loved Israel so much, and they anticipated the greatness of Israel. They would actually, because of the Ahavat Yisrael, the love for the land of Israel, they would move. And his rabbi, when he was growing up young, he would become Rabbi Yosef Sagis, who was one of the great rabbis, and I think he would ordain him to the rabbinate, or he would be ordained to the rabbinate through Rabbi Yaakov Beirav. Rabbi Yaakov Beirav, remember, was the grandson of another Rabbi Yaakov Beirav, who was one of the great rabbis of Tzfat at an earlier stage. And he would learn in the famous yeshiva, Yeshivat Ramak. I believe that was the yeshiva of Rav Moshe Cordovero, one of the great rabbis also of that point in time. He was also going to be the rabbi of the Arizal, Rav Moshe Moses Cordovero was. And very much he would, I think, be acquainted very much with the famous Arizal, Rabbi Arya Luria Ashkenazi, who was a great rabbi. I believe he himself passed away in the year 1572, and much more can be said within regards to that. Among this circle of great Torah scholars included the famous Radbaz, Rabbi Shlomo Elkebetz, another great rabbi, the Ramak, who we mentioned about just before, and many more. I think there's also Rav Yosef Karo, being the author of the Code of Jewish Law, the Shulchan Aruch, respectively, and the famous Rabbi Chaim Vital. I believe he passed away in the year 1620 and was the author of various different great books. Also Rabbi Yisrael Najara, as well as Ari HaKadosh. Now come with the year 1588. I believe he would actually form the Chaburot Sukkot Shalom. He did, and this was really to awaken, let's just say, Am Yisrael, regards to the realms of Teshuvah, and to get close to Hashem, to become davuk to Hashem, respectively. It was really, and I think at that point in time he would actually make the book, the Sefer Charedim, which is a very, very great book. Now it's actually interesting. His book, I think there were various different targets within regards to his Torah colossal works. One of the targets was to spread in the world of Torah Yirat Shamayim, a fear of heaven. That was one of the great goals. And also in his book called the Sefer Mitzvot, this was appointed, let's just say, the various different mitzvot with its different shitot, its different reasonings. There would be the pasuk Kol Atzmoti Ta'amrena Hashem Mikamocha, and the various different mitzvot within regards to the different limbs in our body, how we actually, let's just say, encompass it together. I think towards the end of the book itself, he'll bring 3 different famous poems, Piyutim, very well published, especially the famous Yilid Nefesh, which we sing on the Shabbat table. It's actually interesting. This will be familiar with all of us, and I think it would actually, in the Sephardi Siddur, it was the first to be incorporated in. I think Rabbi Yehuda Halevi and Rabbi Abraham Ibn Ezra would recognize its greatest. Now, this pure Yilid Nefesh should also be placed inside various different bakashot, and it will be accepted in the Siddur of the Nusach Safard also. and which is many of the Hasidim would actually use this, let's say, prayer liturgy. And then eventually, I think at a short period of later, in the Nusach Ashkenaz, respectively. So it was accepted by all of Am Yisrael inside various different Siddurim. So I recommend everyone to look at this. And many people would actually, I think it's incorporated in some of the morning prayers in the Tefillat Shacharit, this bountiful poem or song is. Now, he would write, Rabbi Azikri would actually write various different Perushim on various Masechtot inside the Talmud Babli, including Masechet Nedarim, and Masechet Gittin, the tractate of Gittin. Also, there'll be a Perush on Masechet Brachot, the tractate on blessings from the Talmud Yerushalmi, to be precise. And I think there will be a Perush of Masechet Beitza also. This will come out through Yisrael Parnatzom, I hope I pronounce it, Parnatzos, in 1967. It was originally in manuscript form, and through the Beit Midrash L'Rabbanim Be'America, through the United States of America's Bet Din, United States of America Beit Midrash will actually print it out, and various different Perushim on, let's just say, Masechet Pesachim. That was another great work from the Yerushalmi also, and a Perush, various different other books, respectively, within regards to it. And Milid Shmaya, one of the writings was, which was a Musar and Avodat Hashem, respectively. Now, it's actually interesting. He would write about the praise of the land of Israel. That would be another thing. V'tzadik kol ish Yisrael lechabeb et Eretz Yisrael v'lavo alehem masvei Eretz b'tshuka gedola keben el chik imo. How people should yearn to come to Israel and come here, come to the land and love the land and hug the land. Now, he passed away, as reported over, in the year 1600, right at the start of the 17th century. The great rabbi was. I believe he was buried in Sfat, over there, the city where he was born in. Very interesting enough. Now, come what the year, 2009, we're talking about 16 years gone, the 11th of September, to be precise. I think they would find out exactly where his kever was, if I'm not mistaken, of Rabbi Elazar would be found. I think close to the kever, the burial plot of the Arizal in the Beit HaKvarot Yehudi Ha'atik B'Tzfat. And very interesting enough, so that would be, I think it was residents of Tzfat that would actually discover this, interesting enough. And much more can be said within regards to him. I think it's actually, I think the Matzeva of, if I'm not mistaken, wrote down Mazal Tov Bat HaChacham Rav Avram Shelifi Katav Rabbi Elazar Haya Hashem Shel Shlo Bito Shel Rabbi Avram Ben Rabbi Yaakov Berav. So he got married, if I'm not mistaken, to the if I'm not mistaken, the daughter of Rabbi Abraham, who was the son of Rabbi Yaakov Beirav. Remember, Rabbi Yaakov Beirav was one of the great rabbis of his time in Israel. So he was from a Spanish family, a Sephardi family. He settled in Ottoman Syria. I think the family actually would settle Ottoman Syria before they would actually end up in Israel, respectively. And he was among great rabbis at the time. We've spoken about him, how he received his rabbinic certificate, how he found the Sukkot Shalom movement, and this Sefer Haridim book is still learned today. This is so phenomenal. It blends a halachic enumeration of 613 mitzvot with Kabbalistic ethics, and it's known as probably one of the most colossal works of its era in of itself, respectively. So much more can be said about it, about this great work in of itself. I believe it was actually, the Sefer Haridim was printed after his death in 1600. And it's actually interesting. This arrangement of the book differs from, let's say, similar books. First, the commandments are arranged according to the human body and all the time on which they depend in their observance. Another thing. Secondly, the work does not maintain a single count of the commandments, but it rather lists these according to opinions of several Rishonim, which is very interesting enough. So it's absolutely phenomenal, friends. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe now. We're near 7,000 subscribers, which is an absolute phenomenal achievement over here. If you descend from any of the great chachamim we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. If you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these videos, share these videos to other people and encourage everyone to join. So wishing you all a fantastic day, recording this from the city of Bet Shemesh. I'll watch over all the other videos with regards to great Oriental rabbis of yesteryear. Have a great day, everyone.